Welcome to Rad2, another daily reader for Reddit. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. What movie did you start watching then said, "Frick this, I'm not finishing this"? Upvoted for most accurate answer. I was interested, really interested, then suddenly I lost all interest. And felt nothing but shame and self-disgust. Sounds to me like a way to gain control over a situation in which you felt insecure. Stupid rules and rigidity brings some order into a chaotic world, even if it's just subjective. About 75% of the movies that I start watching on Netflix. I watched a movie with Elijah Wood and Nick Cage and it was absolutely terrible. They were cops in Las Vegas and planning to steal a bunch of diamonds or something. Serious red flag. Yeah, like that one. I envy people who have the ability to walk away from bad movies. I just gotta finish even when they're crap. Same, I gotta know what happened to these terrible characters that I don't care about. Mean Girls 2. Anytime a sequel appears direct-to-video with none of the original creatives involved, and most or all of the original cast gone, I don't think you can consider it canon, and can instead safely pretend that it doesn't really exist for this one. The absence of writer Tina Fey should have told you everything you needed to know. The only memory I have of it was that they all looked about 12. No idea of the real ages they were supposed to be, but they were making fun of the main girl for being a virgin. None of them looked or acted old enough to know about sex. The women who played the main characters were between 18 to 22 at filming. You're just used to 25-year-olds playing high school kids probably. Do I look like a regular girl to you? Yeah, that's when I turned it off. She also wore a leather jacket and rode a motorbike, which as we all know makes her cool and relatable. 50 Shades of Grey. I was out as soon as she walked into Christian's office and tripped over nothing. Cause, you know, she's just so quirky and clumsy. I didn't see the movie but I tried to read the book. Pro tip, don't. It's a shame that pulp is what sorta mainstreamed BDSM in our generation. I would have hoped something better would have had the honor. I highly recommend reading the Jenny Trout Reads 50 Shades series of blog posts. Jenny Trout is an author and she read through all the 50 Shades books chapter by chapter and ripped them to shreds, but in an informed way. It's a very funny read IMHO. Here's chapter 1, jennytrout.com. It will give you the experience of reading the book without really having to read it. Much like videotaping a friend getting stitches gives you the experience, but not the pain and hustle of cutting your own finger with a razor blade because you're too lazy to get up and get the scissors to open that USB drive packaging. Ugh, I felt that. Edit. She signs in, gets a visitor's pass, and heads upstairs to the second steel and glass and sandstone and steel and more glass and mahogany and red and yellow and pink and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and ruby and olive and violet and fawn and violet and gold and chocolate and mauve and cream and crimson and silver and rose and azure and lemon and russet and grey and purple and white and pink and orange and blue lobby. I wish I could tell you that I just use more adjectives and words than James did to describe this sequence of events. I am many things, but I am not a liar. I giggled. Thanks for the link. This is pretty entertaining. Edit 2, so young and attractive. Very attractive. He's tall, dressed in a fine grey suit, white shirt, and black tie with unruly dark copper-colored hair and intense, bright grey eyes that regard me shrewdly. That is one hell of a tie. I'm going to have to ask someone. Please, look into the kindness and the goodness of your soul and Photoshop me a picture of a black tie with Robert Pattinson's hair and eyes stuck on it, gazing at me shrewdly. Frick, I'm dead. Edit 3, a reader actually delivered. All hail the internet. My son is autistic and gets super fixated on random things for periods of time. Ripping paper, compass directions, weather, power lines, etc. He watched the Emoji Movie on Netflix one day and became obsessed with drawing emojis. I had to watch this pile of garbage movie every day for like 3 months. Thank goodness he moved on eventually. Lol. I'm lucky. My son chose Moana to fixate on. It's a lovely film and I'm not sick of it yet. 1,000 viewings later. If he'd picked something like Emoji Movie, kudos to you for your patience. I miss my son's Moana fixation. Even Minions was pretty okay. He's now fixated on movie end credits, like just the last minute that displays logos of Dolby Atmos, MPAA, etc. Why do people even put it on YouTube? Why? Oh god, yeah, that was torture. I took my daughter to see it at the Flicks. I wish I could sleep during film. I wanted to sellotape my eyelids closed. I prefer the old school way of kids movie, giving your kid nightmares on how Bambi dies. Edit. Sorry, Bambi's mom dies. Oh come on, that had some great lines in it. Here you can be very rich. Unless you don't have any money. Then you're just small. Delivered by carefree playboy Christoph Waltz in a moment of detached reflection. The trailer was legit like, look how big this freaking cracker is, then the movie was. Like, even in a utopian society, class warfare will still emerge and resources will ultimately end up going to the wealthiest class, while a substantial portion of the population will have to live in squalor. Also, global warming is bad. Let's touch on that for a bit and then you can go home and reflect. BB, but I wanted to see other large food. One good concept, spit roasted by sweaty Hollywood executives who didn't get it with starving screenwriters collecting the ball sweat. Years back, I used to love the no-effort parody movies like Epic Movie, Scary Movie, Superhero Movie, Meet the Spartans, etc., until I watched Scary Movie 5. When 5 came out, I couldn't see it immediately at the time, so I forgot about it and rented it years later. When watching it, I realized none of the jokes were funny because they all relied on referencing and parodying the horror movies of that time, which were no longer relevant. It was a slog and I turned it off and returned it halfway through. This is the first time I've heard someone say they enjoyed Epic Movie. I was still a child when that one came out, and honestly, I thought it was goddamn hilarious. Freaking Epic Movie put me in stitches. Today, you'd probably have to pay me to watch it. Things were funnier as a kid. Edit. Frick all of you for making my highest rated comment about Epic Movie. Out of all of these, I still maintain that Scary Movie 3 is funny, but that is largely down to Leslie Nielsen. I remember thinking the first Scary Movie was freaking hilarious, though I'm not sure how well it'd hold up. I'm pretty sure it's been a minimum of 15 years since I saw the original. Last year's Cats. I lasted 30 minutes and then I immediately left the theater. Human faces on roaches creeped me the hell out, as did whatever else I saw in that time frame. I had that experience years ago with Scream 3. Absolutely amazing. Every time a character walked into a telegraph death trap, there's near silence punctuated by occasional snickering. Then they die and the whole cinema exploded with peals of laughter. Great times. Pull the lever, crunk. The Robin Hood movie from a year or so back. The bad guys have machine gun crossbows. It's freaking bizarre. Edit. So this comment got a bit more attention than I was expecting. For anyone that hasn't seen it and is curious, the first scene has Robin Hood in the Crusades, where the Crusaders wear modern gear and flak jackets and they hut around a bombed out city, clearing houses with longbows half drawn at the shoulder like they're spare cops dudes, but they get pinned down by an automatic ballista that's basically a machine gun nest, but it's okay because they fire a flare arrow over it which calls in airstrike from some nearby trebuchets. I didn't hate this as much as some of the people replying, but the whole thing was so goofy and stupid that I couldn't be bothered finishing it. That movie bugged me so much. When Robin shot arrows, the way it was filmed made it seem like he was supposed to be shooting a gun. You mean like in the beginning where they're walking around with half-drawn bows like they're guns, going through a house in Baghdad? It doesn't even pretend to be set in the past. It has modern equivalents for like everything. Warfare, politics, dress, etc. is all entirely modern. There's bloody Antifa versus riot cops. www.youtube.com. The Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly movie, Holmes and Watson. In the screening I went to, thanks, Dad, I watched a whole group of 14-year-old boys hightail it out of there in the first 20 minutes. When the least discerning movie audience of all time up and leave so soon, you know it'll be amazingly bad. Read that as one movie title and it was a very alarming mental image. Dragon Ball Evolution, a Serbian film. I read a synopsis of a Serbian film on Wikipedia and struggled to just finish that. No way I'll watch the movie. A movie so bad, Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, said this piece of absolute garbage ain't gonna be the last Dragon Ball movie, and then made 2 movies and an anime. And then one of Dragon Ball Evolution's writers apologized for writing the movie. Incredible. To me, nobody saw the anime or read the manga. You can see because of how they made the final Kamehameha against Piccolo. How Piccolo has a flying ship and May serves him. Goku's personality, the Ozaru and more. Toriyama tried to help but nobody wanted the help. To them it was just a $dollar movie and that really sucks. Going overboard, Adam Sandler's first movie. It's amazing how it didn't end his career before it started. I only know the cover art, and it's amazing. Heartsanama. Corrected. I have absolutely no excuse other than I paid $1 in the Blockbuster bin for it and needed to win the worst movie contest with a bunch of friends on Fantasy Movie Friday. I won. I still win with it. I still haven't watched all of it. Note to anyone who attempts to watch it, whenever the blonde heaves her bosoms, tosses her hair, and yells, "Let me fight him. I'll fight him, take a drink and you'll be dead before the end of the film. So you'll be out of your misery anyway." FYI, you don't know bad cinema until the bad guys have the evil henchman in a sword and sorcery flick is. Wear a spangly rooster costume, fight chicken style alongside a guy in a sequined top hat, surrounded by knives and bow tie on top of an ape suit. Yup, folks, it's that bad. And I own it on VHS. Cats. Just don't waste your time. It's time you'll never get back. And you can be wasting your time on something more wasteful than watching that movie. Lindsay Ellis is freaking fantastic. To paraphrase, Cats is what people who hate musical theater point to when they are asked why they hate musical theater. Hits the nail on the head. Do you swear? Every damn day. Can you swim? I can. When the situation calls for it. Oh. It calls for it. Yeets hot Egyptologist into the Nile. Avatar: The Last Airbender. My family has this on DVD in our summer house, and gets put on every once in a while. My family thinks it's a good movie, and refuses to see the source material, because cartoons are for kids. My family also would rather see Godzilla 2 or Battleships over Joker, because that movie has to have a happy ending. Otherwise it's bad. My family has an abysmal taste in movies, because it's not a movie about the whole series. It's a movie based on the play they are watching in the Fire Nation. Avatar State! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. YIPP. YIPP. I don't see like you do. I release a sonic wave from my mouth. Oh there. Got a pretty good look at you. I thoroughly love this movie, but in your scenario, I possibly would have needed to stop too. Does anyone else remember that interview with the cast where a fan asks what's your favorite blue food, and all the cast look so confused and Logan says something like, so we're asking random questions now? That's irrelevant. Edit. U2.be. The most recent Underworld movie. It was a lot more soap opera and general incoherence than anything beyond saving. I feel the same way about the Underworld movies as I do the Resident Evil series. I know by and large they're pretty garbage films, but I will watch any film in either series and unquestionably enjoy the crap out it. I'm kind of person who can totally appreciate a form over function film. I have no problem admitting why I love the Underworld series. Werewolves, vampires, and most importantly Kate Beckinsale in leather. 50 Shades of Grey. OMG yay, and there was such a hype about it. It was one of the worst things I have ever seen. Like a platform for bad and awkward acting. You never last 5 minutes. Edit. Where my most upvoted is about someone lasting 5 minutes. LMAO. Inside. It's a Spanish slasher film about this woman who wants to steal a pregnant widow's fetus. I've watched so many gore-fest movies to boot, and for some reason this one just totally took it to the next level for me and I couldn't handle it. I actually got quite close to the end and I just couldn't finish it. Edit. It's French, not Spanish. Thanks to those who pointed this out. Into the Looking Glass. I'm normally a huge fan of Tim Burton's work, but I have legitimately sat down W Snacks, full intent on watching it 3 times now, and I just can't get into it. Edit. I know he didn't direct this one, but we all know whenever he's involved his style gets very heavily incorporated. Sausage Party. Story time. Spoilers ahead. Friend of mine and I went to see it, and we were the only people in there except for this mother and her 2 kids who honestly couldn't have been older than 10. I think maybe she saw the poster and made a mistake. Frick knows. We're about 3 minutes into the movie and you could see it slowly dawn on this woman that she made a terrible mistake. It got to the bit with the Hitler mustard singing, "Exterminate ZJUUUICEE," and she just up and walked the frick out of there. Funnier than anything in the movie itself by far. Bird Box. What a horrible movie. I made it pretty far, but realized like 45 minutes in that I had no way to empathize with the main character. I hated her, the way she treated the kids, and I hated the way every other character behaved. I turned it off. Star Wars Episodes 8 and 9. Trash. Thanks for watching Rad 2. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. If you like these videos, check out the original Rad channel.